Welcome to Have You Read It, the channel where we bring books to life, one summary at a time. Whether you're here for self-help, personal growth, or business inspiration, there's something for everyone. Today we're diving into 0 to 1, Notes on Startups or How to Build the Future, by Peter Thiel with Blake Masters. This book isn't just another startup manual. It challenges conventional thinking about innovation, business, and the future. Thiel, a co-founder of PayPal and Palantir, and an early investor in Facebook and SpaceX, shares his contrarian views, offering a unique perspective on building companies that create something truly new. Let's start with a question Thiel often uses in job interviews. What important truth do very few people agree with you on? This question forces us to challenge conventional wisdom and think for ourselves. Thiel's own answer is that technology matters more than globalization. While globalization spreads existing wealth, technology creates new wealth, a crucial distinction in a world of finite resources. The book distinguishes between two types of progress: horizontal or extensive progress, which involves copying things that work, and vertical or intensive progress, which means doing something new. Globalization is horizontal progress, epitomized by China copying existing technologies. Technology is vertical progress, exemplified by Silicon Valley's advancements in IT, but applicable to any new and better way of doing things. Thiel argues that startups are the engines of this vertical progress. They are small enough to be nimble and think differently, questioning received ideas and rethinking business from scratch. He then explores the dot-com bubble of the 1990s, highlighting its impact on current thinking. The 90s weren't always booming. The dot-com mania emerged from a context of recession, globalization anxiety, and global financial crises. The internet seemed to be the only hope for a better future, driving irrational exuberance. Thiel shares his experience at PayPal during the bubble, where paying people to sign up led to exponential growth but unsustainable costs. While this seemed crazy, PayPal's clear path to profitability based on transaction fees made it somewhat rational. The dot-com crash led to 4 enduring lessons: incremental advances, leanness and flexibility, improving on competition, and focusing on product over sales. Thiel argues that the opposite principles are more correct: boldness over triviality, planning over no plan, avoiding competition, and prioritizing sales as much as product. He challenges the traditional economic models of perfect competition and monopoly. Perfect competition, the supposed ideal, leads to zero profits in the long run. Monopolies, on the other hand, can set their own prices and maximize profits. Thiel defines a monopoly as a company so good at what it does that no other firm can offer a close substitute, like Google in search. Monopolists, Thiel observes, downplay their dominance to avoid scrutiny, while non-monopolists exaggerate their distinction by defining their market narrowly. Google, for instance, frames itself as a small player in the vast advertising market rather than the dominant force in search. Non-monopolists, like a British restaurant in a crowded market, focus on trivial differentiators instead of the competitive reality. He argues that competition leads to ruthlessness and short-term thinking, while monopolies have the freedom to care about their employees, products, and impact. In perfect competition, survival is the only goal. Monopoly profits allow companies to plan for the long term and innovate. Monopolies are good for society, Thiel argues, because they drive progress by creating new categories of abundance. Apple's iPhone profits, for example, were a reward for innovation, not artificial scarcity. The dynamism of new monopolies replaces old ones, preventing stagnation. The obsession with competition is a relic of outdated economic thinking. Competition, Thiel suggests, is an ideology that pervades society, distorting our thinking. Our education system rewards conformity and competition, driving talented individuals into conventional careers. He uses his own experience of not getting a Supreme Court clerkship as an example of how avoiding competition can be beneficial. He compares business to war, arguing that competition is destructive. Microsoft versus Google and the mobile credit card reader wars are examples of how rivalry leads to wasted resources and lost opportunities. Sometimes merging, like PayPal and X.com, is the best solution. If you must fight, strike hard and end it quickly. Thiel emphasizes the importance of lasting value, comparing Twitter's high valuation despite losses to the New York Times' lower valuation despite profits. This difference stems from the expectation of future cash flows. A great business generates cash flows in the future. He outlines 4 characteristics of monopolies: proprietary technology, network effects, economies of scale, and branding. Proprietary technology must be 10x better than its closest substitute. Network effects require a product valuable to its first users. Economies of scale are strongest in software startups. Strong branding reinforces other advantages. To build a monopoly, start with a small niche market and gradually expand. Amazon's deliberate focus on books before expanding to other categories is a prime example. Thiel cautions against disruption, arguing that it's a distraction from creating something truly new. Napster's fight with the music industry is a case study in disruptive failure. PayPal, by contrast, expanded the market for payments overall. He introduces the concept of last mover advantage, emphasizing the importance of long-term dominance over being first. Thiel then addresses the debate of luck versus skill in business success, challenging the notion that luck is the primary factor. He points to serial entrepreneurs like Steve Jobs and Elon Musk as evidence of the role of skill. He discusses 4 views of the future: definite optimism, indefinite optimism, definite pessimism, and indefinite pessimism. He criticizes indefinite optimism, exemplified by finance and politics, where process trumps substance. He argues that indefinite optimism is unsustainable, questioning whether the Darwinian model of evolution applies to business. Instead, he advocates for intelligent design and long-term planning, citing Steve Jobs' approach at Apple. The power law, Thiel explains, states that a small handful of companies radically outperform all others. In venture capital, the best investment often outperforms the rest of the fund combined. This skewed pattern is often missed because investors spend most of their time dealing with average companies. He encourages a focus on the power law, arguing against diversification. For startups, this means choosing the one best market and distribution strategy. For individuals, it means focusing on a specific skill that will be valuable in the future. Thiel emphasizes the importance of secrets, important and unknown truths. He argues that 4 social trends, incrementalism, risk aversion, complacency, and flatness, have discouraged the search for secrets. Disbelief in secrets leads to complacency and conventional thinking, as seen in the decline of Hewlett-Packard and the 2008 financial crisis. Thiel argues that there are still many secrets left to discover in science, technology, and business, citing examples like Airbnb and Uber. To find secrets, he suggests looking where no one else is looking, like nutrition, and asking 2 questions. What secrets is nature not telling you? And what secrets are people not telling you? The best secrets are often hidden in plain sight. Thiel emphasizes the importance of strong foundations for a startup, citing his Thiel's Law. A startup messed up at its foundation cannot be fixed. This includes choosing the right co-founders and establishing a clear organizational structure. He distinguishes between ownership, possession, and control, noting potential misalignments. He uses the DMV as an example of extreme misalignment and suggests keeping the board of directors small, ideally 3 people, to avoid dysfunction. Thiel advises involving everyone full-time and keeping CEO salaries low to encourage focus on long-term value creation. He recommends compensating employees with equity, carefully allocated to create alignment, but keeping the details secret to avoid conflict. Thiel discusses company culture, arguing that it's not about perks, but about a shared mission and strong relationships. He cites the PayPal mafia as an example of a strong culture that transcended the original company. He stresses the importance of recruiting, focusing on the mission and the team. The question to ask is, why should the 20th employee join your company? The answer must be specific to your company. Thiel advises creating a company culture where everyone is different in the same way, a tribe of like-minded people, but where each individual is sharply distinguished by their unique work. He emphasizes the importance of sales and distribution, which are often underrated, especially in Silicon Valley. He argues that distribution should be considered as essential as product design. He outlines various distribution methods, each suitable for different price points and products: complex sales, personal sales, marketing and advertising, and viral marketing. He notes the distribution doldrums for products around $1,000, where traditional sales and advertising are ineffective. He also discusses the importance of selling your company to employees, investors, and the media. Thiel discusses the relationship between humans and computers, arguing that they are complements, not substitutes. Computers excel at data processing, while humans have intentionality. This complementarity is the key to building valuable businesses, as seen in PayPal's fraud detection system and Palantir's data analysis software. He criticizes the computer science ideology that focuses on replacing human tasks with computers. He argues that machine learning and big data are often overhyped, while the real value comes from combining human judgment with computer processing power. Thiel examines the cleantech bubble, arguing that most companies failed because they neglected fundamental business principles. He analyzes their failures according to the 7 questions every business must answer. He critiques the clean tech industry's focus on incremental improvements rather than breakthrough technologies, their misjudgment of timing, their inability to establish monopolies, their non-technical teams, their neglect of distribution, their lack of long-term defensibility, and their reliance on conventional thinking rather than secrets. He uses Tesla as a counterexample, highlighting how they answered the 7 questions correctly, emphasizing their superior technology, perfect timing, niche market strategy, strong team, controlled distribution, durable advantage, and understanding of cleantech as a social phenomenon. Thiel discusses the founder's paradox, observing that founders often have extreme and contradictory traits. He uses examples like Richard Branson, Sean Parker, Lady Gaga, and Howard Hughes to illustrate this. He explores the historical roots of this founder archetype in mythology and the concept of the scapegoat, arguing that societies need extreme figures to embody both success and failure. He examines the rise and fall of founders like Howard Hughes and Bill Gates, highlighting the intense scrutiny and challenges that come with success. He contrasts Bill Gates' downfall with Steve Jobs' return to Apple, demonstrating the irreplaceable value of a founder's vision. He concludes that companies need founders to drive innovation and long-term planning. He explores 4 possible futures: recurrent collapse, plateau, extinction, and takeoff. He argues that the choice we face is between stagnation and creating a better future through technological innovation. So, what's the main takeaway from 0 to 1? It's that creating something new is the key to building a valuable company and a better future. This involves challenging conventional wisdom, thinking for yourself, and focusing relentlessly on a unique problem. Here are some easy-to-remember heuristics from 0 to 1. Technology over globalization. Focus on creating new wealth, not just spreading existing wealth. 0 to 1, not 1 to n. Strive for vertical progress, not just horizontal progress. Monopoly over competition. Dominate a niche market, then expand. Last mover advantage. Aim for long-term dominance, not just being first. Power law. Focus on the few things that matter most. Secrets. Look for hidden truths that others have missed. Strong foundations. Get the first things right, from team to culture. Distribution matters. Don't just build it, sell it. Humans and computers are complements. Combine human intentionality with computer processing power. Think for yourself. Challenge conventional wisdom and find your own path to 0 to 1. Thanks for watching Have You Read It? Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button so you never miss our next book dive.